We've obtained these exclusive photos taken by Bryan Kohberger himself after the murders and pulled out of his phone by forensics experts. At least 3 photos have never before been seen by anyone other than Bryan Kohberger and by the police who caught him. They say the killer snapped these pictures for himself and himself alone, that he kept them on his phone, but that he never sent them or shared them with anyone. And one I guarantee will take your breath away like it did me. We'll never know his purpose or his reason for taking these pictures. But I can also guarantee you this: each is so much more revealing than he ever could have imagined. And I could spend this entire hour poring over each and every one of them, and I will go over many of them in just a moment, but there's more breaking news. Never before seen evidence that the quadruple killer murderer was also a serial stalker as well. Reports from the Idaho State Police obtained by People magazine show 2 women suspected Bryan Kohberger was stalking them at Washington State University right before the murders at 1122 King Road in Moscow. Kohberger was a PhD candidate in that criminology department at that school. And the women said he would make daily visits to see them at work. And then he'd make unexpected, uninvited, and highly unwelcome visits to their homes. One of the women was an employee at the university bookstore. She said Bryan Kohberger seemed to have researched her, knowing personal details that she'd never shared, including her name and the hours that she'd worked. She further said in August or September of 2022, and remember, that is just months before the quadruple murders, she was changing in her bedroom at home when someone knocked on her window. She called for her husband and the person ran off. Another time, she heard someone on her porch. Her husband came home right away, and she says a white car drove off moments later. And we all know by now that Kohberger drove that infamous white Hyundai Elantra. The other student worked in Kohberger's own department, criminology. She said he would seek her out constantly, quote, almost daily, end quote. She told police she was working late one night when she saw Kohberger walking around outside. He made eye contact through a window with her and then entered the building, at which point the woman said she hid in a bathroom. Another time, she got a phone call from a neighbor who said someone was lurking outside of her window at home. Soon after, she learned that she lived fairly close to Kohberger. And she told police she wasn't the first person to have problems with Bryan Kohberger at Washington State University. I want to bring in a NewsNation staple. Brian Enton has been covering this case since day one. He's our senior correspondent at the network. Let's first just talk about those breathtaking photos, Brian. I only saw them just within the last couple of hours for the first time. And I think the first thing that came to my mind was, here's someone making faces like a monster into his phone, but it reveals perhaps for the first time a twisted personality that we know exists behind so many other of his photos.
Yeah, I mean, look, all the photos that we've seen of him, Ashleigh, whether it be the few selfies we saw before this or the pictures of him, gosh, they're so creepy, every new one that pops up. But the pictures that we've seen him in the courtroom or when I've seen him, he's always so emotionless. And that one where he's showing his teeth and his eyes look so strange and he's got his lip up, showing his teeth, making that monster face. It's unlike anything we have seen from him before. Again, in terms of all the times we've seen him in court, all the pictures that have been released, we have not seen anything like this. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I don't even like to look at it very much because it's just so creepy.
Here he is trying to flex, shirtless, in a bathroom. Don't ask about the look on his face. Perhaps it hurts someone like this to flex. But there's something that we discovered, Bryan, as we zoomed in on the photo of him shirtless and somehow giving the salute. I do want to let everyone know that the photo of him shirtless that you just saw is just after the murders, and the weird, scary mouth picture was also in December of 22 after the murders. I want you to look at this zoomed-in picture of him saluting. Look at that ring finger knuckle. Just look closely at the wound on that knuckle. I don't know for sure if that is a wound that he received about 4 to 6 weeks earlier during the murders, but I can tell you this, that is the exact same knuckle, same position, where right after the murders, just hours after the murders, he gave a thumbs-up selfie in his bathroom, and that knuckle was bandaged. So again, that's the wound that looks to have been healing for upwards, Bryan, of 4 to 6 weeks. The same knuckle that was bandaged the morning of the murders when he gave a thumbs up. Do we have the thumbs up selfie picture? I'm just going to ask my team to grab it. We're trying to get photos as quickly as we can because we just got our hands on these. But to compare this knuckle picture with that wound on the ring finger of his left hand, it is the same knuckle, same position, and you had to really zoom in on this picture. You had to really zoom in on that left hand, his ring finger, to see that there was a bandage. This is just hours after the murder, and this is in his bathroom, in his apartment, in Pullman, Washington, at the university where he worked, Washington State University. And 4 to 6 weeks later, in December of 2022, after the murders, you can see that wound healing on that knuckle. Bryan, it's just so eerie to think that he's just so proud of himself in so many of these pictures, knowing full well what he's done to these kids and what society is now doing, desperately trying to find him.
Yeah, you think about the wound, you think about the brutal attack on those kids, the fact that we know at least Kaylee Goncalves was awake and alert enough from what we've been told to try and fight back, which may explain some of these injuries like the wound that you saw there on the knuckle. And in terms of taking the selfies and almost wanting to, it almost feels to me like he was wanting to document his life and his emotions as he lived on the run, knowing what he did. And again, I don't even know how to describe it other than creepy now getting this look back, looking into his eyes, knowing what he's now admitted to, and knowing that this is after he brutally murdered 4 innocent college kids. And for whatever reason, I mean, we know he didn't have friends and that he wasn't sending these out. It does appear these were just for himself. Which just sort of boggles the mind. And the shirtless one I keep wondering about. I mean, you just had those photos a couple of nights ago from when he was much, much bigger, from when he was very, very overweight. And we know that he's very careful about his diet now and was around the time of the murders. I don't know if that's why he had these shirtless pics. This one, I still don't even know how to explain. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't either. It's so disturbing. There's another very disturbing photograph that was taken on December 29th of 2022. Sad to say that's my birthday, so I'll not be able to shake this image. He's wearing a hoodie, a black hoodie, and it's very eerie because he's staring into the camera and he just looks so sallow. Let me see if the control room can pull up that scary, hooded photo from December 29th. It's just one day before his arrest. This is in Pennsylvania, as we would now know, Bryan, because as we've learned in these exclusive photos that were given to us from the forensics investigators who pulled everything from his electronics and his phone, if he's taking this picture December 29th, it is the day before they burst into that bedroom or that home or wherever he's taking it and locked him in handcuffs and took him away for good.
Yeah, and remember, this is around the same time they were also able to determine from going through his phone and going through his computer, Ashleigh, right around the time of this photo, this is when he was searching different serial killers and researching serial killers. So you sort of think about that in connection to him taking these selfies of himself, and you can kind of get into his mind right before the arrest.
Okay, as we're looking at some of these photographs, and I will tell you that the hiking pictures look to be June and August of 2022. And July and August, the thumbs up pictures, not the one in the bathroom, the famous one after the murders, but other thumbs up pictures were from July and August. So many of them were taken, you know, in the summer right before the murders while he's out hiking with that favorite backpack of his. Just quickly touch on the new stalking claims, Brian, that, you know, these two students said they for sure felt like they were being stalked. And we know that Bethany and Kaylee said they spotted a silhouette of a man while they were walking Murphy the dog, and Kaylee had told other friends, many of them, that some guy had followed her out of the Winco store all the way to her car. It sure sounds similar.
This comes as no surprise to me. First of all, when you look through all of the police reports from Idaho State Police and you hear the stories from his classmates and colleagues at Washington State University, he was very creepy with the women there. Many of them thought he was borderline stalking them. So these reports don't surprise me, and I just keep thinking back to what we've heard from so many people who knew Kaylee, that she told so many of them that when she let the dog out about a month before the murders, there was someone she believed in the woods right behind the house staring at her. That lines up so closely to these new reports from women in Pullman, Washington, who said that he was outside their homes staring at them. It really makes you wonder if he was out there stalking the murder house, Ashleigh.
And again, as people are seeing all these photos, remember this picture, that picture right there in the bathroom was the morning of the murders, looking like he's freshly showered and very proud with a bandage on that ring finger. Can I ask the control room to pull up the other bathroom pictures where he takes selfies in the bathroom? Because you can see in this one, there's no shower curtain, right? I think by this point, either he's taken the shower curtain in the back or it's that little sliver of white. But in this one, there is a shower curtain. This is in his bathroom at his apartment in Pullman, Washington. And this picture is taken in July of 2022. So several months before the murders. But he seems to have a proclivity to take selfies in the bathroom, which may be why he ended his murderous night with that cleaned up, freshly showered, thumbs up picture in the bathroom with the bandage around the ring finger. And potentially, if it's a shadow or if it's the shower curtain, he certainly got rid of the shower curtain, because as a criminology student, he would know if you shower blood off you, there may be microscopic evidence of it all around the shower curtain as well. Brian, thanks for helping me sort of sort through those. I know it was last minute. I really appreciate it. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Ash.
And I just want to, say to you, the viewers, that some of you may argue, move on. He's put away for life. It's over. But I say the same things about every serial killer that I still follow, because I still don't understand. BTK, I still follow that. I want details. I want to know why. Any other piece of the puzzle, here's what it makes me feel. I don't know if it's the same for you. It makes me feel like maybe I will know just that much more to being able to spot the wolf in sheep's clothing, because they're walking among us. And I can tell you right now today, they're walking among us today. And I, for one, want to know anything I can to identify them.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.